We had a 6-girl tag with Jane Cargill, Red Velvet, and somebody against Kiera Hogan, somebody, and somebody. They don't say their names often enough, and when I'm on speed search, I'm not going to back up. And about the end of that match is when the audio just died, just stopped. And I'm sitting there watching the rest of the show with not a peep of audio. And only thing we missed were Tony Schiavone with Britt Baker and Saraya, and with no audio. Their previous interviews, any indication, no audio helped that. And then the tag team title match with FTR against the Acclaimed. But in all fucking honesty, we weren't going to critique this match as a match anyway. We were going to critique the finish and the fact that the match happened and what came out of the match, because all those things sucked. The finish, Cash powerbombed Caster and top spreaded him, and Caster rolled through him 1, 2, 3. The partners weren't even involved in the finish. The partners weren't even in the ring. Now they're having tag team matches where it just comes down to 2 guys just changing moves until one of them wins. So the finish was rotten. The fact that they had the match was rotten. We've talked about this. Okay, now it's too late to do anything about the fact that they lost a lot of opportunity with FTR. They buried them specifically because of jealousy on the part of the Buckaroos. They didn't like hearing that FTR was the best tag team. It was a shoot on the whole FTR, fuck the revival thing. It was a shoot on the part of the smarmy little Cucamonga kids from 5 or 6 years ago, because they couldn't stand that people were saying that FTR was the best team because they, in their deluded, self-indulgent, masturbatory fantasies, think they are. So they get FTR in the company. The booking is insane. The push is insane. They have few wins. They somehow slip into winning the tag team titles once. They get them taken away. They start getting over organically again with the people who realize just great performance after great performance and start going, why the fuck are these guys not on TV all the time or any of the time? Why do they always get beat? Why is the one guy always in a singles match? And somehow they got over enough that they gave them all the belts for every other promotion in the world, except the one that they're on the TV of that actually counts in this environment. And the Buckaroos had the opportunity to do that, which would have been right for business. But of course they didn't, because they wanted to go back and play on the trampoline with their friends and Twinkle Toes. So they slide out of dropping the belts to FTR. They'll come back and do it later on. They'll revisit it in the future. Yeah, you lost your fucking chance. And a lot of times I've been getting a blowjob. I might have thought, well, I'll revisit this in the future. It was never as good the second time around. Nevertheless, so FTR's got every other belt in the entire world of every other company, Ring of Honor, New Japan, AAA, but not the AEW belts. Those then slide from a makeshift tag team that they were put on instead of FTR to the Acclaimed, who are the newest team that the fans have gotten over by themselves because they love the thing with Billy Gunn. They love the scissoring. They love the rapping. They love these guys. And now it's no longer right to put the belts on FTR. But meanwhile, it is also not right to have this fucking match. Because not only do the Acclaimed is a popular team, but not an experienced team. Hopefully that will come, but they're not the best wrestling tag team in this company, even though they wear the belts. So, yes, the idea would be wanting to put them against a team that has more experience, it's more professional, it's more accomplished to get a better match out of them, but not another babyface team, because then you are splitting your audience. And since the Acclaimed is the hot team of the moment, it's further damage to FTR's reputation. Not only do they have to go out there not even as heels where they can fuck up their cheating and lose, but have an out, a gripe, a bitch, they have to go out there as full-fledged baby faces, split the audience, most people going for the Acclaimed. I couldn't hear. I don't know about the audio, but I bet they did. and then put them over. And in the process, it kind of shows that the real best tag team is these guys over here because they're so much farther along than the Acclaimed, and it's not the Acclaimed's fault. If they could, in this whole pissy-ass one-horse company, if they could actually put together an experienced quality heel tag team that could have matches with guys that were greener and put them over properly, that would be just swell. But instead, they continue to beat FTR. The FTR can't beat anybody except in every other promotion they wrestle in where they're the champions, but nobody in AEW is scared of them because they lose every match except for the singles matches they have, which they lose all of those too, except for Dax 1-1. He beat his partner. So then they get beat here, and then they all have to fucking hug. Because FTR's like, oh, thank you for shitting in our face, you green team that we carried through this. Now we put you over and we'll hug you. And then the ass boys appear on the screen. In the last 60 seconds of this television program, a completely unrelated tag team pops up on the screen with a Christmas card from a team that we have never seen on this television program, the Briscoe brothers, but who have had the best tag team matches in the world over the past year with the team that just got beat by the Acclaimed. And it's a challenge for a dog collar match at the Ring of Honor Final Battle pay-per-view that is actually going on as we are recording this. Yes, they not only made the challenge for the match 60 hours before it would actually go in the ring, but when they did that and FTR had to stand there with a dumbfounded look on their face about this news that had just been imparted to them, they threw up a graphic, and that's the last thing you saw on the TV show was dog collar match, Saturday, FTR Briscoes, which means that not only had the match already been signed, but the information had been disseminated in a wide enough circle that the graphics department knew about it, but the people involved in the match didn't. And then they go off the air, and we had just finished a podcast that very day where we said that this Ring of Honor pay-per-view card is a joke and who's going to buy this, and at least before they had FTR and Briscoes, so there was a match that people would be willing to pay $30 or $40 to see, and they don't even have that. And so what did they do on the Wednesday night before the Saturday afternoon? Like I said, 60 hours before it would go in the ring. There you go. Here's your match to sell the pay-per-view. Announced by an unrelated team that's not in it, on behalf of a team that's not allowed on our television program because of alleged reasons, which I'm starting to call shenanigans on more and more every day. Because, you know, the Briscoes spent a lot of time in Ring of Honor with the Buckaroos, and I've been around both those sets of people, and I guarantee you that they probably wouldn't hang out together a lot outside the ring. Maybe there's some heat, who knows? But an unrelated team issued a challenge on behalf of a team that's never been on television to the team that just got beat to be in the main event of the pay-per-view in 60 hours. Brilliant marketing, don't you think, Brian?
You know, someone just emailed us before, and they said, you know, I work, and I don't get to watch wrestling when I'd like to. I DVR it, and I watch it over the weekend. That fan who watches Dynamite over the weekend, they're going to hear about that main event coming right as it's probably happening. If they get to watch it on Saturday, it's ridiculous. The surprise isn't worth it because even if it had worked out well, AEW is dying in the ratings as the show goes on every week. Once you get to the women's segments that are bunched together, you're going to get a ton of people dying off that show. So this was announced at the very end of the very last segment of this show that you'd have to sit through the whole show to get through. And again, like you said, by a team that's not even involved, and the whole buildup was stupid.
And the people going to the main event are sitting in the ring, the losers, having just hugged the team that beat them.
You guys lost. Guess what? We're going to have a match for fans that really like matches.
Yeah, you guys just lost, so we're going to put you in the main event of a pay-per-view.
In a dog collar match. What's necessary?
In a dog collar match that nobody's going to see to begin with, because nobody even knew about this fucking match until now. And somebody's going to say, well, they can plug it on the Friday night show, the one that just set the record low rating.
Tony could have said it during his media call. I know they wanted the surprise at the end of the show, but it wasn't worth it, especially if you don't even have the Briscoes to be able to be there.
Well, besides that, obviously, it's not like that this match took heaven and earth to move to get the contract signed for. So they could have announced it 4 weeks ago and then filled the rest of the card in like they did last time with matches that nobody gives a shit about. Because they would have had at least something. People would have said, okay, dog collar, Briscoes, FTR, all their other matches are great. I'll pay to see that match since I won't be able to see it in AEW because of reasons. But now they're expecting with 2 days' notice, people haven't planned in the holiday season. People ain't got nothing to do on Saturday afternoon if they even get the fucking word. They think, well, I'll see. They'll do what we're going to do. We're going to watch it for free from some unknown source.
Well, don't say that.
No, I will, because I want Tony to know. Brian Last and I would have both bought this fucking fiasco to see that match if you'd have bothered to announce it a week or two ahead of time. But now we're going to fucking watch it for free from an unknown source that you wouldn't approve of. And all we're going to watch is that match because the rest of the show is still going to be the shits. But we might have watched the rest of it if we had a financial investment in it, but we're not going to, so we're not going to bother.
For the record, I'm not guaranteeing I'm watching anything, certainly not by illegal means, but secondly, funny enough, as we are recording, and as this event is taking place as we are recording, they just announced more matches. I woke up to more matches announced.
Well, God damn it.
The day of the show, I woke up to see, another tag team match on the show.
Wait a minute, hey, Brian, here's the thing. How many times have you gone into a whorehouse and you have paid the
I could say never.
Oh, come on.
Where the fuck am I going to find a whorehouse?
I know the family may be listening now, but, just tell them to cover their ears. So you walk into a whorehouse.
Okay.
And you pay the standard rate for one girl. But when you get in the room, there's 6 girls there, and they don't ask you for any more money. When has that ever happened?
How many whorehouses have you been in?
Well, nevertheless, and we don't need to do things. I have notes, but I can't give you an exact count unless I confer with... Nevertheless,
Jesus.
The point is, once people have bought something, there is no need for you to give them a bunch more shit. And if they ain't already decided on Saturday morning that they're going to watch a show that starts at fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon local time or whatever, you pretty much lost your fucking chance. Anyway, try to act like you don't go to... All right.
Never once. I don't even know where I would find one.
Well, I'll give you a
I know
list.
people I could point someone to and say, hey, if you need that, this guy can hook you up. I have no idea where that shit is.
How far are you willing to drive?
I don't drive anywhere.
Well, I'm going to try to give you a list. I guess there's bus transportation in that neighborhood. Nevertheless. So the point is, is it desperation? Is it foolishness? Oh my God, nobody's buying this thing. I'll add a match that they'll all like, but he thinks, like the rest of them do, that everybody is going to know instantly everything that's happening. And they're going to just, oh my God, this was just announced. I have to drop my entire life. Fuck the kids on Saturday afternoon. Well, don't fuck them literally. We don't advocate the fucking of children, but fuck their time, fuck their attention. I'm going to watch wrestling. Or whatever.
And if you're watching NXT tonight, are you saying, hey, I'm going to double fist it. I'm going to go one right into the other.
Oh, well, that's right. There's NXT business today also that we don't care about. Well, there you go. So